Good morning, everyone. I'm on pretty early today. I just finished my run and I am feeling so full of energy and I want to share it with you. But first, let me close the bathroom door. All right, there we go. Now we can focus. I don't know how many of you guys make it a habit to run or work out every single day, but I'm definitely one of those people, and I hope you are too. Anyway, today I want to talk to you because I am able to look into dozens of profit and loss statements for real estate investors every single week as a coach. And there are 5 common threads that I've noticed for everyone who's successful and everyone who's being profitable, because believe it or not, most real estate investors are not profitable. I know, sad, right? All right, so most new investors struggle to cash flow using loans, and we solve that problem by using our 100% cash flow method. So you can have your first cash flowing property within 87 days, even if you have no credit and no experience. And this is not one of those gimmicky, no money and all that stuff like that. I mean, you're gonna have to have some money. It's real estate investing. You're buying an entire house, you know. All right, so let me just start by saying, I'm going to go over the 5 basics and I'm going to have to hop off in about 10 minutes. So if this seems super duper fast, just rewind it. Or of course, you can always book a call with me. Okay, so but we're going to go over the 5 basics and we're going to use the acronym ASHLEY, ASHLEY. And we'll go through each of those very quickly. And the way this came about, so I have my own coach, right? And this was years ago. I was working with my coach and I was complaining because I was like, I want to be at 100K a month, right? But I shouldn't be doing any work. I shouldn't be touching anything. Like I love residual income. Cash flow has been my thing for a while. And he had to bring me back to reality. And he's like, Ashley, think back when you were a teacher and you didn't even know you can make $1 a month residual, meaning like you don't have to do anything. The $1 just comes to your account every single month without you having to work for it. He's like, so give yourself a little bit of grace that we're only about 5 years out from that. And you're not at 100K a month yet. You're there. You're trending towards that direction. And so I thought about that conversation today on my run. And I was like, that is so 90% of Americans like literally don't even have $1 a month coming in residually. So we got to change that. We have to change that. My goal is to make sure that every working American has at least $1,000 a month coming in pure cash flow and also increasing their net worth. That is my goal. And so I need y'all to help me with this. I need you to spread my message far and wide. I need you to listen. Everyone needs to have at least $1,000 in cash flow coming in every single month without you having to work or trade your time for it. And I'm going to show you what I've seen that is working in the people that I coach. I'm just looking at trends. I'm speaking from wisdom, not from theory or what I think. All right, 5 things. ASHLEY. So the A stands for assets. So write this down if you're taking notes. The A is for assets. You need to understand what a true asset is. So if you're getting into real estate investing, most new investors, they make a mistake of getting a loan. Huge mistake. Okay, we'll talk about that later. An asset is something that pays you every single month. Okay, it shouldn't be necessarily paying you back every single month. It should be paying you, increasing, adding to every single month. So if you have a loan, for instance, but you're telling me, well, I have this asset that's paying off the loan. Well, not really, right? Because the loan took your net worth down here. And now the asset is just slowly bringing you back up to where you were at zero before you got the loan. And then after you pay the loan off in 30 years, well, then you'll be adding to, but you want to wait 30 years before you're actually adding to your net worth, right? A liability is something that you buy and you have to pay towards every single month. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are buying assets. That's step 1 in real estate investing. Obviously, the asset that we buy are properties, real properties. If you're like me, I want to see it. I don't want no fake money. Nothing wrong with the stock market and all that stuff, but I want to be able to see it, touch it, feel it, and I know it's there. All right. How much time do I have? Okay, 7 minutes left. All right. Step 2, the S. The S is for saving. Listen to me when I tell you saving is silly. Saving is silly. The only people who save are poor people. I'm just telling you that right now. Rich people do not save. Rich people invest. So if you are saving, it should be saving to invest. Okay. Saving is silly. You're not going to be able to take the money with you when you die. So you need to make sure you have that money invested so that it's taking care of you and your family now while you're healthy and, able to enjoy it. And saving is silly. Okay. If you are investing, like I'm suggesting that you do, people are like, well, what about my retirement? And I need to save and I need to save for this. Think about it. My retirement is my real estate investing portfolio, right? Like when I retire, number one, the rental income still comes in. Or I can do like one of my mentors. She just recently sold off her entire portfolio for, millions, and she is still young. So just please follow me on that one. All right. Saving is silly. Don't do it. H. H is for high cash flow and high net worth. Okay. When we get back into the poor people versus the rich people, and I'm not putting down poor people because I was a teacher. Let me tell you, honey. Anyway, high cash flow, and you want to also have a high net worth. Okay. You need to be cash flowing because, well, the average American, right? We're barely making ends meet. You look at all of the debt. You want to make sure that you have money coming in. We always want to put revenue in first position. But what I like about investing in real estate, especially the way that I like to teach you to do it, is not only are you increasing your cash flow because you're investing in high cash flow properties, but you're also increasing your net worth. Because when you're buying these properties, you are now whatever that property is worth is yours. So many people, they don't understand that real estate is not if you go to the store and you're like, hey, I want to buy this piece of paper. And you're like, okay, the piece of paper costs $1. I give you the paper, I take the dollar. And so now that there's an exchange, my dollar is gone, but I have this piece of paper. That is not how investing in real estate works. When you invest in real estate, yes, you do pay money for the house, but the money stays in the house. It stays in this house, right? And I still get the cash flow that comes into it every single month. So if I'm getting cash flow of, $1,000 a month, I get that. Plus the $50,000 that I pay for this house is still there. And as a matter of fact, it's appreciating over time. Okay. So it is not like a purchase. It is an investment. Your primary home was a purchase. Your investment property is an investment. The money is still there. It is just sitting there in the house, appreciating over time while you still get cash flow. Okay. A lot of poor people only focus on high cash flow. And I'll be honest, when I first started investing, my main focus was cash flow because I didn't even understand money. It wasn't until I had to sit down with a money coach and he was like, no, your net worth is actually really high because you own all of these properties free and clear. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. So you want high cash flow and high net worth. Okay. The L, we're on step 4. Oh, so there's actually 6 steps. Sorry. Step 4 is L. L is for loans. Please listen to me when I tell you. Loans are a job. When you get a loan, you sign something called a promissory note. And on that promissory note, you are promising that for the next 30 years, it doesn't matter if you get sick, if your spouse passes away, if you lose your job, if everything goes wrong, you are saying no matter what, I'm going to scrape, borrow, and beg to pay this loan back for 30 years. That is what a loan is. Okay. You don't want to sign up for a 30-year job. Most of you already have a job, right? That is a big commitment, especially if you're new. You don't even know if you're good at this yet. You don't even know if you like it yet. So why on earth would you sign and say for the next 30 years, yeah, this house is going to be able to pay off this loan and I'm going to be able to do all that. And you don't know. You haven't tried it. You haven't even built the chops yet for that. Don't be signing up for that kind of stuff. Okay. And L is also for, well, I'm not going to say that. I'll just say loans are for professionals. Once you are a professional investor, that's when you start playing with loans. Okay, because now you know what to do. You have your team, you have your processes, you have the mental strength for it, right? That is when you can do it. Because think about it. When we went through COVID, and I don't have loans in my personal portfolio. I slept like a baby because I don't have any loan payments due, right? But once I started building a firm and there's lots of loan payments due, no problem, because I have the mental fortitude for it. I don't care. We're going through COVID and no one's paying the rent. I have the mental fortitude to say, hey, I know this bank is calling me. They are threatening foreclosure. I have my tenants saying they're not going to pay me anything. And I can still sleep like a baby at night, right? Because I have the mental toughness for it. Some of y'all will be freaking out. You see people jumping off of bridges and all of that stuff like that. But when you are a professional and you've already been tried and true, that's when you want to start getting loans. Your first few properties, you better not. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. If you look at the numbers and you look at these investor products that lenders give, a lot of the foreclosure rate for investors is so much. I mean, it's disproportionately higher than a regular person for their primary home. It's for a reason. It sounds good. You watch a video, you're excited. You want to go out and get the loan, you got the credit right and all that stuff. And then you end up defaulting on the loan because you couldn't finish the project because you don't have the people for it, or because something went wrong and you're like hiding in the corner and not trying to face the problem because you're not used to that kind of pressure. Please believe me when I tell you, don't touch the loans until you are a professional. All right. And let's look at the E. Okay. The E goes three ways for me. The E, emergency, equity, and employees. That is what I use my properties for. Okay. So I went through a situation where, I went through divorce and things got really, really ugly, So in that situation, when I wasn't able to earn what I typically would, no problem. I'll just go and sell a house off. And actually, I sold some with owner financing. You know what I mean? So now I got the big down payments coming in. I can do that, or I can sell it and get that big chunk of money if I need to. If my kid needs some heart surgery, or God forbid something else happens, I have money just sitting in these houses that I can just pull out in case of an emergency. Okay. The other E is equity. That equity is building, especially if you are buying in cash like I want you to. Not only is the cash you put in there sitting, but as the house appreciates, it's worth more and more and more and more and more. And so that is what rich people do. Okay. So poor people buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. No. Rich people, we want to buy and hold. And if we do sell it, it's because we are trying to upgrade to something else. That's why we do something called a 1031 exchange, right? Where you could take like 4 or 5 of your small properties that you built with cash, and you can take all of that now and level up to an apartment building or level up to something else. Okay. Just please listen to me on this one. And then E is for employee. I use my houses as employees. Okay. Anybody who's ever run a business, or even you might be in management or anything like that, where you have to manage people, it's hard to manage people. People are hard. Okay. Managing houses is easy. All right. And so I know every single month that house is going to be working for me, and its only work is to exist so that a renter can live in there and pay me every single month. So my houses are my employees. Okay. They're the ones bringing the profit and the revenue into my company. All right. And then why? The Y stands for Yaris. I always say, get that Yari before you get a Ferrari. Okay. Yaris, if you don't know, is like one of the least expensive Toyotas you can buy, right? I mean, it's small, it's tiny, it's not fancy. Some of them you still got to roll the window up. But I compare that to a Ferrari, right? Where it's really expensive, it's nice, one small scratch on it, and it's going to cost you $5,000 to fix it. It is fancy, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, all of that, right? If you are new, you need to start with the Toyota Yaris. Just like when you got your first car, or you bought your kid their first car, right? A 16-year-old, a new person to driving, you get them the Toyota Yaris because they're going to make mistakes. They're going to hit a curb. It's going to get scratched up. I mean, this because you hope it doesn't, but they're new drivers. They're going to make mistakes. So you buy them a vehicle for people who are going to make mistakes. And typically you buy that, we call it your little cash car, right? If that car gets scratched, no one cares. No one notices because it's a Yaris. It's supposed to be scratched. Okay. If you bump the tire on something, you got to get a new tire. You literally can just hop in the back, change it yourself. No one cares. You can find that tire anywhere for cheap. It doesn't even have to be a new tire, right? It's practice without penalty. We don't get our Ferraris until we are mature in driving, right? Because every curb, you got to be extra careful. You know what I mean? You don't, any scratch, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. You're likely going to have a really high car note on it. So, insurance is going to be very high. People are going to purposely be trying to get hit by you so they can try to sue you because they think you're rich. I mean, it's all these other things that come with having that Ferrari. And the Ferrari is just like you getting a loan, right? When you get that high, fancy, beautiful looking loan product, you have to be a professional and know how to rock with that loan product. Because if you get a scratch on your loan product, guess what? You still got to pay it, right? If you get a loan on this house, and let's say for whatever reason it was vacant, or something happened where the pipes burst and you got to get that figured out, you still have to make that payment. You don't get to call your lender and say, "Oh yeah, I don't have a tenant this month, so I won't be able to pay." No, you signed this promissory note that you were going to pay me for 360 months. You figure it out. All right. So I am 3 minutes over time, but listen, if this was helpful for you, and if you like the way that I coach and teach from wisdom, I'm not going to be the fun influencer that's going to say, sign up for this loan and no money down. No, I'm teaching you from wisdom. I'm teaching you the old school way because old school works. Okay. I'm teaching you the way that it's always been done, the way my mentor did it, and the way that I am doing it. So if you remember nothing else, ASHLEY, assets, saving, high cash flow, high net worth, loans, equity, employee, and emergency, and why a Toyota Yaris. If you have those first just 6 basic little steps, you are already leaps and bounds ahead of people who've probably been already investing for years. All right, guys, I hope to see you. Sign up if you'd like to meet with me. We can talk about it. And also, I will be in Houston on August 28th. So August 28th, 2025, I will be at Post Oak Title from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. And I'm training investors on the 5 steps to high cash flow. So that's when we'll really just talk about what you need to do to get your first rental. This is the mindset I need you to have, what I just taught you, but what you actually need to do step by step. I'll be teaching that at Post Oak Title. That is August 28th, 2025 from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. It's sponsored, so there's no cost, and lunch is also provided. So I hope to see you there. If I don't see you already hopping in to meet with me, and let's talk about getting your first high cash flow rental property in 87 days. Bye, guys.